can't see if it's recording. Let me just check. Okay, good. I'm gonna have to check it like every 10 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. As long as we remember.
We'll see.
I'm so glad I can see at least your mouth and your nose now.
If I sit back, maybe you can see my eyes a little.
Yeah,
this is not a cute angle though, so I'm not gonna do it. Hello. I'm in my car. I live in a very small house. And today, in that small house, are the babysitter and my baby. And also my husband, who is on lots of meetings on his computer. So there was no room for me to be in and also talk in. So here I am, in the car, parked at a Starbucks, using their Wi-Fi. And it's a great time. So that's how I'm doing. How are you?
I really appreciate your creativity and commitment to this.
You know, I'm not available a lot, so we gotta use the time we have.
I'm still a little concerned that you'll be cold, but we'll see how it goes.
I probably will be at some point, but I've got lots of layers. I've even got sweatpants I can put on over my pants if I get super cold. I brought those with me. So
You're really
I think we'll be
prepared.
fine.
I'm impressed.
Look, I don't like to be hot also, so that's good. I don't know what that look was about. It was very serious, but I didn't have anything to follow it up with. So here we are.
Nice.
What are we talking about today?
Well, I am very unprepared. We just did a 2-minute check-in before we started record, and I realized even more how unprepared I am. But we're going to talk about pregnancy rules today.
You're as of yet so innocent and outside of this whole whirlpool of judgment and extreme opinions.
Yeah.
So congratulations. You're doing
Thanks.
great. Yeah. And I say that glibly, but it really is, it's a serious topic because obviously anyone who gets pregnant wants to take care of their baby and their body so that they can have as uneventful a pregnancy as possible and as safe a pregnancy as possible. There have been a good number of studies done on what's safe and what's not safe. Unfortunately, a lot of them are inconclusive, and so sometimes the rules end up being just like, to be on the safe side, do this or don't do this. And there's a lot of myths and traditional ideas of what pregnant people are supposed to and or allowed to do.
Right.
Which then, as a pregnant person, you then have to deal with other people trying to enforce pregnancy rules on you. And I'm not that into rules in general. So this was something that I definitely struggled with in my pregnancy. I also dealt with a lot of guilt, and I'm sure other people have dealt with that as well, around what I was choosing to do and how I was choosing to eat and what I was choosing to physically do and all of that sort of stuff. So I kind of want to ask you, I know you said that you don't really know yet, but is there or are there a couple of things that you're nervous about and like are afraid either that you will or won't be able to do, or that people will like get on your case about?
I am a unsure about supplementation because when I switched to vegan diet and started to really look into, okay, what really is healthy and what do I really need and where do I get it, I also learned some about how that applies to pregnancy and how maybe some things that are being said are not that true actually. So I'm a little nervous about that and just want someone that has a similar lifestyle to me and has done all the research and understands all the things to tell me, take this one thing and then you're all set. That's what I want.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. I haven't done hardcore research in that because I thought there's going to be more research when my time comes. So it's maybe not really useful to do it now, and I'll just, like, I've been putting it off until it becomes really relevant. And I've been focusing more on just being as healthy as I can in advance to just have a healthy body as a healthy home to the growing human. So that is something.
A healthy home for a growing human. That's pretty cute. I like that.
And then something I'm nervous about is what you said about like strong opinions of other people. Because I think there are going to be quite some things that I do quite differently than most people, maybe, than is the considered
maybe
norm,
the average person.
Maybe, yeah. And I'm even hesitant to say this on here. For example, I, so far, as of today, want to get all of my care from a midwife and not go to a doctor, a gynecologist at all. Like, I don't want to get ultrasounds, for example. I don't want to, let's stick with that, ultrasounds. And I feel like that's going to be something that people have opinions about and get scared off and think that, like, I'm putting myself and the baby in danger if I don't do that. Yeah, let's stop here.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And I think that you're not off base there. I think you will get some reactions to that. But, I mean, knowing how in tune with and responsive you are to your own body. And
but
let me also say, right, exactly.
That you saying that is you saying that. Other
no,
people
I know.
That will have those reactions might not know me that well and trust my assessment of that.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's part of our whole shtick, and part specifically of this conversation is that anyone outside of that pregnant person doesn't know what went into the decisions that they're making.
Yeah.
So, there are so many factors that go into, one, how the rules get made up or get decided on, and then also how you decide how to implement that in your own pregnancy. So yeah, I mean, the easiest set of pregnancy rules to talk about is, of course, like food stuff, right? That you're supposed to avoid anything unpasteurized because of a higher likelihood of like listeria and other foodborne illnesses that could give you food poisoning. And I read somewhere that like the concern there was that you get dehydrated, and specifically with listeria, it's been linked to miscarriage and stuff like that. So things like lunch meats and unpasteurized cheeses and things, and like sushi, so fish that may or may not have, raw fish that may or may not have been well handled, And all of those sorts of rules are basically to reduce risk. Like, it's an easy thing to reduce. Oh, and runny eggs. Oh God, that one made me so sad. Made me so sad. Scrambled eggs are the worst. Hot take. I don't like scrambled eggs. And if you eat hard-boiled eggs or over hard eggs, you're just, I don't understand your lifestyle. I don't understand the decisions you make. And I don't know if we could be friends. So that's how I feel about runny eggs.
All right.
No, that was obviously a joke, but yeah. So all of those are reducing your risk, right? It's not that every time you eat those things you're going to make yourself or your baby sick. It's that if those things are susceptible to, or are the most susceptible to, these bacteria or foodborne illnesses, and therefore eating them puts you at more of a risk than not eating them does.
Right.
Not eating them does. So there's that sort of thing. There's like, God, all kinds of things. Some places say pineapple you shouldn't eat when you're pregnant. I have no idea what that's about. But I hadn't really, I don't think that that's like a, but again, like, so here's the other thing. All the rules are many and various. And so what I did in my pregnancy, and what I tend to do is, one, I have trouble following food rules, period. I have trouble following anything hard and fast, period. You want me to check my recording? I'm gonna check my recording.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, I checked mine, and that.
Yeah, it's still recording.
Hinted at you to check yours. Good.
Good team. I have trouble with any hard and fast rules or decisions. I am a Myers-Briggs P to like, which is perceiving, which means that anything and everything, if I receive new information, I am open to changing my opinion. I'm open to changing my mind from moment to moment. And I generally think that's a really good thing. Sometimes it makes it really hard to make lifestyle choices and then stick with them. So like when I started my pregnancy, I was eating mostly vegan. I was eating vegan at home, shopping vegan, cooking vegan. And then when I went out, I didn't have as strict rules on myself. I would eat mostly vegetarian, occasionally some chicken. And you know I love me some runny eggs. So when I would go out to breakfast, I'd sometimes get some eggs. So that was sort of where I had landed in terms of how I was living and how I was eating, basically, more specifically. And then I got pregnant, and my only craving that I had throughout my entire pregnancy was melted cheese. Not cheese, melted cheese.
I didn't know this.
Literally a plate of melted cheese.
Like just the melted cheese?
Occasionally I would put pretzels into the cheese.
Why do I not know this? That's so funny.
Because I have in the past been nervous to talk to you about things that I eat that are not vegan.
Oh, yeah,
because,
of course. I get that.
Right, because we started out, like, basically you became vegan because I was starting to be vegan. And then you, like, went whole hog all the way in, or whole no hog, should I say. And I never went all the way.
Yeah, I think you were already 2 years or something before I started looking into it. You were already, like, not eating beef and trying to reduce. And then 2 years later, I, like, from one day to the next, was like, oh, I turned vegan yesterday. Look look at my fridge, and it never changed. Like, it's been 100%.
Yeah, you are not a P, my dear. You are 100% a J.
I've been trying to remember. You might be right. I want to look. Oh, actually, I can. While you talk, I'm gonna look that up. I have
Okay.
it somewhere.
Look it up. But my perception of you is that you're a J, which again can be great, but also provides its own downfalls. It's really good for sticking with decisions. So yeah, melted cheese was the beginning of the end of my veganism throughout pregnancy. I shouldn't say
think
veganism,
also-
should I?
I think 99% of the people on this planet can understand this craving. I mean, melted cheese, come on.
Oh, yeah, melted cheese is amazing. Yeah, no, it's incredible. And I was so sick all the time that I didn't care what it was. If I wanted to eat something, I was going to eat it. The other thing I ate every day, and I had never been a person to eat the same thing every day, but every single day for breakfast, I had Greek yogurt and granola. Every day. Every single day. Because it was the only thing I could eat in the morning that didn't make me gag. Pregnancy, it's so fun. And it had a lot of protein in it. And one of the pregnancy rules is that you're supposed to eat 70 to 90 grams of protein a day.
Ooh.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So, and fats. And Greek yogurt also has a good amount of fat in it if you get the full fat kind.
Yeah.
So yeah. How did I get on that tangent? I was talking about eating and the rules around eating and how they changed how I ate.
You were talking about how you went about it, and then you said generally you don't like hard and fast rules.
Yeah. So, the way that I went about it is basically that, sorry, that was a huge tangent. Good times had by all.
Welcome to a podcast. It's gonna be full of random, very
Full
long
of tangents.
sidetracks, tangents, rants.
Speaking of tangents, I'm filming from below, so I'm gonna have a double chin this whole time, and I've decided that I'm fine with it, and here we are, because I'm literally filming in my car. These are the options we have. The way that I went about it was, if I was about to eat something and something tickled my memory that, like, maybe this isn't okay, or I thought, maybe this is something that there's a rule about, I would look it up then. I didn't do any research ahead of time outside of, like, what I knew from pregnant friends kind of a thing. Because I knew that I would struggle with following the rules, and I knew that therefore I would struggle with guilt and self-doubt. So I basically found out one by one as I would make a decision what the rule was. And so over time, I got a pretty good idea of what all of the rules were, but I think I tried when I was first pregnant to look up rules and I was immediately overwhelmed because and I looked it up before this podcast, there are pages and pages and pages and pages of articles on what are the pregnancy rules you really have to follow, and what are the pregnancy rules that you should know in your first trimester, and what are the, like,
they also change within the pregnancy.
They do, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's a beast. It's a beast, and there's so much. I mean, obviously you're caring for a life that's not your own. And so I make very different decisions about how much ice cream I eat when it's just me versus how much ice cream I eat when all of that is going to pass to my baby that's the size of a grape, like, and then my body and their body are going to have to try to figure out the insulin to deal with all of that, right? And that's not to say I didn't eat ice cream during my pregnancy. I certainly did. But there's just more that goes into the decision. And I think that's mainly what I wanted to get across, is that all of these are super individual decisions. And yes, there are
Sounds
things
like we're going to
that...
be done in a minute. That's mainly what I wanted to get across. Okay, bye. I'm cold now. I'm going home.
I mean, that's basically the main message, so you can stop listening now if you want. But
Okay.
there... Bye, Hanna. You seem like you're ready to go. Catch you later. I think the main issue with pregnancy rules is how you process making the decision and then your own perception of your decision and then other people's perception of your decision, right? Those are the parts of pregnancy rules, or any rules, right? Like life rules. Or life decisions, period. Making the decision, your own reaction to the decision, and then other people's reaction to the decision. So, hello again. I got a phone call. Wait.
Here we are, back again.
Oh, I am good.
I wanted to jump in and say that I think the more sure you are about your decision, so the steps that you said, make your decision, then analyze how you feel about that, and then how other people might feel about that.
Yeah.
I think the more work you do on the second part there, like how do I feel about this? How sure am I about this? How all that stuff. The less impacted you're going to be about other people's opinions on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Speaking of other people's opinions, I remember when I was in my first trimester, I was literally just telling people, well, I guess I was almost out of my first trimester. So I was like 12 or 13 weeks, maybe even a little less. And I went up to New York to tell my grandma that I was pregnant. This is her first great grandchild, and she has 8 children, so it's kind of a big deal. I went up to tell her, and so I told the rest of my family, and my aunt was over, and for some reason we were moving her living room around. I think it was around after Christmas, so maybe she was taking the tree down, so we were moving the couches back to where they originally go. And these are old couches with wooden frames that are super light, and I went to move one with my cousin. I was like, come on, Kyle, like, let's do it. And my aunt was like, you can't move that. And I was like, woo, okay. And it was fine. I was like, and to your point, I had looked it up. Because, you know, you hear like you can't move heavy things during pregnancy. And so I had looked it up, and I knew that the rule is you can lift whatever you could lift before. So like anything that won't put extra strain on your body that you weren't able to lift before you were pregnant is not going to put extra strain on your body while you're pregnant, as long as you do it carefully. This is what I found out, right? Like, maybe I'm wrong, but this was what I had found out, and therefore I felt very comfortable deciding to move this couch, because I move lots of furniture in my life, and it wasn't very heavy at all. And so I was able to turn to her and not be totally thrown off by this and say, actually, I looked it up and I'm okay. I can move whatever I moved before I was pregnant, now that I am pregnant, and I am gonna be fine. So, but yeah, if I hadn't looked that up, I probably wouldn't have moved the couch, and I probably would have done a lot less moving generally in pregnancy, because of that old-fashioned idea of you shouldn't do much when you're pregnant to protect your body and protect the baby. And it's actually now the recommendation is the opposite, which is you should exercise consistently throughout your pregnancy, because it's really important for your health and for the health of the baby that you move around. And for me, if I'm honest, that was mostly walking. And the walking mostly happened in my 3rd trimester because that was when COVID had started and I didn't have to commute anymore. So I had an extra hour in my day. So my partner and I walked 40 minutes a day. So, which was great. It was wonderful and it was super helpful. And I think helped me through the end of my pregnancy. But again, rules versus reality. You're supposed to exercise every day and do lots of moving around. I did some moving around. And then also when my life became much more timeful, then when I wasn't going anywhere or doing anything else, I did a lot of walking. I mean, I think everyone did. All the rest of my neighbors did too. We saw so many people in our neighborhood.
Yeah, everyone started walking.
We had never seen before.
2020.
2020, the year of outdoor walks.
Right. I'm very glad you explained this because I had always wondered, like, what do moms do that already have a child? Like, let's say I have a toddler and I'm used to carrying them, and like that's how, and then I'm pregnant and all of a sudden I'm not allowed to lift my child anymore. Like, how does that work, like in real life? Let's be realistic. I always wondered about that. So now that you said you're okay to lift whatever you were able to lift before, you can continue doing that. That makes a lot of sense to me because my body already has all those muscles and Bewegungsabläufe, is already used to these movements and knows what to tense up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and you do have increased relaxin in your body, which makes all your ligaments and joints and all of the connective tissue in your body a little bit looser. So you do have to do things consciously to avoid, pulling something or doing something out of the ordinary. But again, if you're used to doing that motion and you have that motion in your body, you're pretty much good.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't mention at the beginning, but we are going to mention now. Oh. We are not doctors. We are not experts. We are not health professionals.
Dietitians, midwives, none of it.
We're not dietitians. We're not midwives. We are simply people that have been pregnant and are interested in pregnancy. And I feel like to be a pregnant person, you do have to get at least an associate's degree in being a pregnant person. You don't have to, but it's pretty easy to do that. But obviously there is not an associate's degree of being a pregnant person, and I don't have one. So, and this was my experience of pregnancy. There are lots of reasons why a doctor would tell you not to put stress or something on your body. And again, that's the decision for your midwife or your doctor, and you follow the instructions of your health professional to the extent that you agree with them.
Right. Megan,
Go
check
team.
your recording.
I am going to.
Yeah!
I'm still recording. I love it when I'm still recording.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like once you're pregnant, you all of a sudden have to become this expert in all of these different fields, like nutrition and movement and health and communication.
There is that.
And like, what? So much for a normal person with a normal life to take on all this research all of a sudden. I think it's really what's that word? Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right?
You think? You think it might be? It's very overwhelming. It's super overwhelming. But you don't have to become an expert in all these things, right? Like,
no, but I think it might feel like that sometimes.
definitely. It definitely feels like that sometimes. And what you do have to figure out is where you want to get your information.
Yeah.
Because
You're
there
gonna
are
have to
as many
some source
Right.
at some point, because you can't do all the research on your own.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have a doctor that you really trust, take their advice. If you have if you have a midwife that you really trust, take their advice. If you have a sister that did a lot of research, certainly I think that's a legitimate way to get your information, you know? Or if you have a friend who, like, one of my friends was pregnant right before me, and she is one of those people that does too much research, in my opinion. But no, she really wants to know the right answer. So she does all the research. So oftentimes I will go to her to find out what the research is that she's done. I sometimes come to a different conclusion than she did, but she has the breadth of information on a lot of topics, like car seats. My car seat is in the back of this. You probably can't see it, but there was no way in hell I was going to do all that car seat research.
No.
But I obviously want to get a good car seat, and I want to get a car seat that my child is going to be safe in. And that is one of her like main things that she's interested in, is like car safety and safety in terms of moving around in the world. And so I know, and I knew that she had done the research to figure out what car seat I should get. And so I basically was just like, hey girl, what car seat should I get? And she was like, this one. And I was like, thank you. It was so great. So yeah,
I'm just thinking, I'm glad that I know exactly who you're talking about and that I have her number. I'm gonna hit her up.
You definitely should. You definitely should. Yeah. So I think basically figure out, if I were to give someone advice in terms of pregnancy rules, figure out where you want to get your information from, and then use that source. And if there's something you're unsure of that you get from that source, do research on that. Don't try to research everything. Figure out what is most important to you and what other like safety-based decisions that you need to make. Figure out what the answer is on those. And for the rest of it, find someone or some source that you trust. Like, there are thousands of pregnancy books out there. Not all of them are going to line up with how you live your life and what you value. So try to find one that does. I really liked pregnancy books because there was one place. I didn't have to search online and decide whether or not, oh, sorry, I made the camera wiggle. Decide whether or not I agreed with the author's ethics or values or degree or whatever. I found a couple of books that I knew where I lined up with them and I knew where I didn't. And then I took their advice and researched individually. So if you're trying to keep from being overwhelmed and you're okay with doing it that way, highly recommend. It helped me stay sane. There was a period of my pregnancy later when there was a lot more guilt and a lot more worry and concern around how I was eating and how I was caring for my body, because I was almost diagnosed with gestational diabetes. I had like some higher numbers than you want to have. And so I did I did choose to get a lot stricter with my eating because of that. And that was a little more fraught than the rest of my pregnancy decisions. But I'd say most of them, that's how I made them.
Cool. I don't want to go. This sounds like it's the end.
Well, what do you got to add to it? Come on down. I monologued for a while, now you monologue for a while. This is how we talk.
Well, I don't know if I should because I haven't been pregnant yet. Like, I'm just theorizing and taking guesses about all of this.
Yeah.
I can say that what you just explained is how I plan on going about it, or how I have been so far. Like, I'm finding people that I align with, that have similar values and live their life similarly to mine. And I have been like jotting down notes of things that they say, of books that they've read, that they've gotten their advice from, and I'm going from there, which is maybe also why I haven't done hardcore research in any of those, because I like already know where I'm gonna get that information from. I already have a list of books that I know I'm gonna want to read when the time comes. I already have contacts that I know I'm gonna hit up for this subject, for this question. And yeah, my focus is more on what we said earlier, to get an idea of what's important to me and how I want to make decisions and how I want to go about it, so I'm in tune with the decisions that I make, and also all of that with my partner. Like, I have a lot of conversations with my partner and tell him what's important to me and ask him what's important to him, so we have a common ground and are like,
I'm gonna start my car.
Yeah.
Just battery.
Doing research on similar things and getting our opinions from each other. Stuff like that. I got lost.
I'm sorry, I distracted you. I apologize.
It's okay.
My phone's getting low battery. No, I think that that's an incredibly productive thing to do, already figuring out where you want to get your information. And that is definitely one of the advantages of planning to get pregnant. I don't remember if we've talked about it yet, but my pregnancy was not unplanned, but it wasn't entirely planned. Like, I wasn't planning to get pregnant when we made that baby. So I hadn't done all of that yet. So I found out I was pregnant and then had to figure out, what books do I want to read and where do I want to look for information and all of that. And it was, obviously, if you can do that beforehand, it takes all of the pressure off of it. Because I did feel like I have to make a decision now. I have to figure this out today, because every day that I'm not doing those things, right? Every day that I'm not doing the things that I don't even know that I'm supposed to do yet, I'm hurting my baby, which is absolutely not true. 100% not true. But it's easy to feel that way if you are unprepared for that second line on the pregnancy test.
Whew.
Yeah. I had gone in a hot tub that weekend. I'd had a drink. Like, it's a time. Everything turned out fine, which is wonderful. And usually everything is going to turn out fine. But sometimes it doesn't. That's not because you went in a hot tub that weekend and had a drink. Like, that's not why things don't turn out fine.
Yeah. The temperature one is one that I wasn't even aware of for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I will say I did end up doing things that I didn't need to do because I didn't do a lot of research. So, like, I started not sleeping on my back in the first trimester. Oof. And that's not exactly what the rule is. Like, it's once your baby is heavy enough to compress things in, I still don't even really know what the rule is. But you don't have to not sleep on your back in the first trimester. I don't think. But I started that way too early, and there was something else that I did that turned out to be unnecessary. But it was just because I looked it up, found something about it, and then followed the rule because I didn't want to do all of that extra research. So you might end up doing some things that aren't necessary, but as long as they're not harmful, that seems fine to me. I did get a pregnancy pillow very early for that reason, because I was like, I need something. God, I love a pregnancy pillow.
I have been looking forward to this for so long. I will be so happy when the day comes that I can get
I wish I could send you mine, man.
I know. I've been thinking
a big
about
ol'
that.
you.
So I wonder if
It's like a hot dog bun that you're the hot dog and it's the bun and everything is beautiful and nothing hurts. Well, everything hurts a little less.
I'll come visit and trade you your wedding dress for your pregnancy pillow.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Hanna wore my wedding dress, or we wore the same wedding dress, which is very exciting. And you still have it. So yes, I would like to.
And I wore it more than you. I wore it twice.
I know, you've worn it twice. Rude. How dare you?
And it's living in my mom's closet.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready to go now. Also, my video is
okay, good.
really dark.
That's awesome. Well, this worked surprisingly well. I feel like we had fewer... Sorry, I'm going to check my phone again. Fewer technical difficulties than we have had yet.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pleased.
And no baby background noises, which I missed a little bit, but...
Oh, yeah. He's pretty cute. Oh my god. He's making like... He had been making almost exclusively raspberry noises up to this point, like that kind of thing. And now he's starting to make vowel noises and it's so cute. And he's doing like sentence cadence, right? Like he's doing the sentence melody. Like it's so cute. I can't handle it. It's very loud though, as that was probably also.
Yeah.
It's very loud.
When I see him moving, because he's also doing a lot of moving from my perspective, I'm always like, I'm not ready yet. I haven't even met you yet. You can't move yet. I need you to stay.
He's starting to army crawl. He's starting to move forward.
Oh.
It's very exciting.
Okay, this is unfair. We can't gush about your child that no one is gonna see. So we're gonna...
Look, he's cute. Just trust me. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
I love you. This was cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope I didn't wobble the camera too much, but you're perched very precariously, so.
I think it's fine. All right. What do we want everybody to comment today?
Oh, I want to comment. I want to comment. I've
you
already
can comment
commented.
too. Feel free.
I want to know so first of all, I would like to know what crazy things people have told you can and can't do in pregnancy.
Ooh, yes.
Not that what my aunt told me was crazy. I think it was very normal and very traditional, but I'm sure that there are crazier things out there that people have been told that they can't do. So I'd like to know what people told you couldn't do. And how you make decisions about what rules you follow and how you deal with people's reaction to those. Maybe that's too many things.
Yeah.
Maybe just the first two.
The first one is the easiest, but respond to whatever. We want to know other things. Respond to whatever you want to respond to.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk to you again next week.
Sure will. Bye.
Bye.